What's going on, guys? My name is Andrew, and today we're doing a breakdown or a review of one of ARK's ETFs and why I think not only does it have a really good buy-in price right now, but a very positive outlook moving forward. Now, if you're not familiar with ARK Investments, chances are you've seen this lady's photo a time or two when you're researching stocks or while on YouTube. Cathie Wood is the founder and CEO of ARK Investments, whose name has really dominated headlines the past year from her popular ETFs that have seen some serious gains. Not Arnold style gains, but the green style gains. The ETF I'm talking about today in particular is ARK Fintech Innovation ETF, or ticker symbol ARKF. Currently, the share price is trading around $55 per share at the time of this filming, with almost a 200% return this past year. With that $55 per share is a lot lower buy-in price than some of the similar ETFs. And of course, since this is a fintech innovation ETF, the majority of the holdings are going to be the tech sector, financial, communication, with smaller percentages in real estate, healthcare, and other sectors to kind of help balance it out. Now, if you've watched any of my previous videos on this channel, you know I am a super fan and I'm very bullish on stocks like PayPal, Square, and even Pinterest. Which, if you look at the top 10 holdings of this particular ETF, all of those I just mentioned are in it, including other big names like Shopify and Zillow. But to really understand how well this ETF really has been performing here lately, we have to compare it to its peers or of its competitors within the same style funds. But really, there's not a lot of them when you narrow it down to the specific sector or what this innovation fund does. But there are two that come out that have a similar buy-in price and have similar holdings as far as the amount of like PayPal, Square, Zillow, all those in the same fund. And that's what we're going to compare to today. So the two funds we're going to look at that are very similar to this fund with ARK is Global X Fintech ETF, or ticker symbol FINX, and the EcoFin Digital Payments Infrastructure Fund, ticker symbol TPAY. As I mentioned before, when we look at the funds, they are very similar. They're really two of the closest funds to the ARK fund, and they have a lot of similarities as far as the amount of holdings they have in PayPal and Square. But when we start looking at the actual returns and the numbers or the performance of these three funds, there is no doubt that ARK's investment really blows them away as far as returns. For example, the ARKF fund, or the ETF, 1 year return is on the left that I circled with a 198% return compared to FinX at 100% and TPAY at trading at 95% return. So I'm going to put up a picture and really kind of illustrate how well the top holdings in this fund are performing and how it benefits the performance and how it's going to benefit the future performance of this ETF. As the picture clearly shows, all of ARKF's top 9 holdings are cash flow positive using just operating cash flows. 6 of the 10 are in a profitable state, and of the 4 that are not profitable, only one, which is CLTD, is posting large losses as a percentage of revenue and equity. All these profitability metrics really compare favorably to the other ARK funds, which contain many speculative plays, some of which don't even have products yet. But of course, to me, this isn't surprising compared to other ARK funds. ARKF has far more of, if you will, mature companies, which means that profit is more of a sure thing with these stocks inside this particular ETF. Okay, so we look at it, it's performing well, it looks like a good buy. But as with anything, it does have risk associated. I've narrowed down really 3 main risks that are associated with this ETF. The first risk is regulation. We all know that major banks and financial companies spend millions, if not billions of dollars each year being compliant with federal regulations. So don't think for a minute that these new startup companies are going to have a pass or a way out on avoiding these regulations. So as time goes on and they start getting these regulations imposed on them, it possibly will cut into their profit a little bit moving forward. The second big risk, really with any sector or companies, is competition. Big banks and these major financial corporations do not like startups that challenge them or force them to do business a different way. Prime example would be, let's say, Robinhood. Robinhood come on the scene and really force all the major brokerage firms to drop their commission on trades. So companies like this don't like startups. The good news is associated with this risk is companies in this fund like PayPal and Square seem to be doing okay as of now, and it really have been so big as far as their expansion the last couple of years. I don't see them as being a major threat to the competitors because they've already kind of established their own lane as far as digital transactions. And the third risk that I've identified is international risk or foreign investment. When you look at some of the top holdings of this fund, two of them come from either Argentina and China. So be a little weary, or it could come to play later on when you have issues like trade wars or diplomacy, depending on which way the public perception is swinging with these different countries. With having international companies into a particular fund, it could affect them slightly. The good thing is about having an ETF, it is balanced. So just because a company in China may be impacted by a trade war or sanctions or some type of tariff, the other funds should be able to kind of balance it out. And that's the whole purpose of having a balanced ETF at the end of the day. So there is a slight risk with having foreign investment or international companies being inside this fund. Overall, in my opinion, this is one of the better ARK investment ETFs to buy into for a long-term play. Yes, there are some other ETFs out there that have really produced a better one-year return, but they've also experienced more volatility in the recent market up and down. So as you know, if any of my other videos, I'm not a big short-term play guy. That's not my investment strategy. So with the buy-in price right now around $55 a share and the stability it has and the returns, this is one of the better ARK funds in my opinion, and ETFs. I know Vanguard has some really good ETFs, but we're really comparing it to the ARK ETFs. I'm really positive about this one. And to me, it provides a great opportunity that if you like these innovation companies, these fintech stocks, you're able to buy into multiple of these companies without having to really spend all your money and isolate it to one or two particular companies. You really get the benefit of enjoying the returns of all these companies and really spread your money out in a very positive and balanced way into an investment strategy. And of course, one of the best things about buying into an actual ETF and not an individual company is the fund is actively managed, meaning that they're constantly tweaking the companies, the holdings, as far as adding companies, removing companies, adding more shares to particular companies. So it's supposed to be handled by the professionals. So it hits a more balanced return and a more positive return instead of putting all your eggs in one basket. Say, for example, invested in PayPal and you get a little bit of everything, or the fruits of all the stocks as they surge in the recent market. And then on a side note, this is an excellent way for you to spend some of that third stimmy money from old Joe Biden. If you got a way to invest, this is an awesome fund to start putting some of that money into and hopefully double, quadruple the money as the years goes on. But I'm not a certified financial advisor. I'm just a guy who is very passionate about investing in stocks. So reach out to a pro or someone else for advice before you start spending all your money into a fund. But hey guys, I am not the only person who has a positive outlook on this particular ETF. A lot of analysts across multiple financial sites are all saying that ARKF is in a great position to continue to grow and provide a great return for its investors. And if you liked the video, please do us a favor and consider hitting that like button. It really helps our channel grow and push this video out to other YouTubers. As always, thanks for watching. I hope your stocks stay greener. I hope you stay safe, and I'll see you on the next video.